Just to officially start with introductions, for those of you who don't know, I'm Karen Dion, and I write psychological suspense that's set in Michigan's Upper Peninsula wilderness. I have two novels in that genre, The Marsh King's Daughter and The Wicked Sister, and both I've been very fortunate. Both have been international bestsellers, and Marsh King's Daughter's been published in 27 languages. It is very soon to release as a major motion picture. That's all I can say right now. But yes, look for some news on that quite soon. So that's super exciting too. And so now on to our wonderful authors. I'm going to do this alphabetically. We have Brian Andrews and Jeffrey Wilson. Yes, we said Jeffrey Wilson was coming tonight, but he ended up with a last minute commitment that he couldn't. So Brian's going to carry the torch for both of them. Brian, they write together. They're the writing team behind the best-selling Tier 1 and Sons of Valor book series. Brian is a nuclear engineer and park leadership fellow who served as an officer on a fast attack submarine. Jeff is a vascular surgeon and jet pilot who conducted combat operations with an East Coast-based SEAL team. They currently have multiple projects under development for film and television, and they're also writing Tom Clancy's Jack Ryan series for Penguin Random House. So their new novel, The Sandbox, just came out July 25. I liked this description. It's called The Silence of the Lambs meets Ex Machina in this groundbreaking techno thriller that redefines the meaning of murder in the 21st century. Sounds very awesome, Brian.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah. All right. And Naomi Hirahara is an Edgar Award-winning author of multiple traditional mystery series and noir short stories. I should have asked you how you pronounce it. Mas Array? I didn't say it right, did I?
Things go awry.
Okay.
All right, Mas Array.
Mas Array, thank you. This is a series that's been published in Japanese, Korean, and French, and it features a Los Angeles gardener and Hiroshima survivor who solves crimes. It sounds so amazing. Her first historical mystery, Clark and Davidson, which won a Mary Higgins Clark Award, follows a Japanese-American family's move to Chicago in 1944 after being released from their California wartime detention center. Now she's just come up with a follow-up to that book, Evergreen, which published August 1st. Again, when I went to the book's Amazon page to find some pull quotes and praise, we could go on forever, but I isolated this. Evergreen is an Amazon Best of the Month mystery thriller, a Crime Reads Best Historical Fiction of 2023 so far, and a Crime Reads Most Anticipated Crime Fiction of Summer 2023. So a lot of excitement for the book, and we're super excited to have you here tonight, Naomi. Ken Jaworowski is an editor at the New York Times. He graduated from Shippensburg University and the University of Pennsylvania. He grew up in Philadelphia, where he was an amateur boxer and has had plays produced in New York and Europe. He lives in New Jersey with his family. And if you're a fan of New Jersey, ask him about how he feels about living in New Jersey when you're in the break. There's a little secret involved there. So, Ken, we're super excited to have you because your book, Small Town Sins, this is your first novel, and it just published August 1st. So what an honor it is to host you at one of your early book events. I pulled this quote for it from Jeffrey Deaver. Sitting comfortably at the pinnacle of psychological thriller writing, Small Town Sins is smart, compelling, and by turns harrowing and heartfelt. And what an unforgettable trio of protagonists. Masterful stylistic voice. You will hardly believe this is a debut novel. Bravo. So, yeah.
Thank you.
High praise. And lastly, we have Sarah Pekkanen. She is the #1 New York Times bestselling co-author of 4 novels of suspense, including The Golden Couple and The Wife Between Us, which I'm sure you've all read because they're amazing. I didn't know this about you, though, Sarah. Your bio says, a passionate volunteer for rescue animals. She serves as an ambassador for RRSA India and works hands-on in India to heal and vaccinate street dogs. She lives just outside of Washington, D.C. with her family. Sarah's here tonight to talk about her solo thriller, Gone Tonight. And this is the quote that I found from Book Reporter. Gone Tonight is all the best of Pekkanen's last few collaborations. Easily the best thriller I've read all year. In an oversaturated market where even the best authors seem to be phoning it in, Pekkanen is here to remind her readers that thrills can still be shocking, twists can still be unexpected, and reading can still keep you up way past your bedtime. This is the thriller I've been waiting for. Wow. And it just came out on August 1st. So all of these authors have brand new books out, and that's kind of cool. All right, enough with the intros. Now we're going to go into the funnest part of the evening, which is our game of 20 questions. All right, Sarah, what was your first job?
My first job in high school, I worked at a restaurant and I would make sandwiches. I worked Friday and Saturday nights, which will probably tell you something about my social life in high school. But I had all the sandwiches memorized, and I can still whip up like a mean veggie special or whatever it is on the grill. And I made $3.90 an hour. And when I got a raise to $4.25 an hour, it was such a big moment.
That's very cool. Fun times. I'm sure we can all relate to that, something similar for ourselves. Naomi, where did you grow up and how does that influence your writing?
I grew up in the same city that I'm here right now, Pasadena, California. I've been in other places in other countries, but I've come full circle and back home. It's my next book, I'm actually going to be writing about Pasadena. If you've been here, it's like a gorgeous place. There's so many trees, you're kind of looking, I'm a mystery writer I write about darkness, about shadows, but all I see is like beautiful skies and trees. But I finally have an idea to write about my city for the next
sounds
book.
Exciting.
Yeah.
Yeah, nice. I can tell you're excited about it because your face is glowing. Ken, what was your first pet?
My first pet was a cat, and I convinced the kids wanted a pet a couple of years ago, and my wife didn't want a cat. And I said, we have to get cats. I've always had cats, and boy, are they cool. And if they don't like you, that's what I like about it. They stand their ground. We got a cat. The thing hates me. It walked out of the room when I walked into the room, and my wife, who never wanted a cat, now loves it. And she gets up in the morning and we walks into the kitchen. She's like, hi, baby. And I know she's not talking to me. She's talking to me. So it was a cat. And now we recently got a cat.
Upstaged by a cat. Yeah.
Exactly.
Brian, this is the last of the first questions. What was your first car?
My first car was a Chevrolet Camaro. I had begged all the kids, the other guys in my high school, they had these fast cars. So I begged my dad, could I get a sports car? Could I get a sports car? He's like, well, whatever you get, you're going to have to pay for the insurance. So I started looking at, well, okay, can I afford the insurance? I think the insurance probably cost more than my car did after a year, So he helped me pick out a used one, and I did end up getting that Camaro, and I was so always grateful to my dad for that, helping me with that.
Well, thank you all authors. And obviously this conversation, as short as it was, has given you all lots to ask them questions about in the breakout room. So we'll have fun with that in a little bit. Right now, the authors have prepared a comment or two about a book that they've read recently that really blew them away, or maybe it's an old classic, but it's a book that they think everybody should read. So Sarah, we're going to start with you. What book are you recommending tonight?
So you guys have to forgive me. I'm in the middle of moving and I cannot find anything. So I'm going to hold this book up on my phone. Can you guys see it? Oh dear, because I have on the background.
We've got a graphic though, so we're good. Yeah.
Lee Hepworth, The Soulmate. And I don't want to give away too much about the book, but one thing I can say is that Sally writes thrillers, domestic thrillers. This is about a couple, and they witnessed a murder. And the thing I like most about it is her voice. If you follow Sally on social media, she is funny and real and irreverent, and she talks about things that most people don't on social media, where they kind of put the best foot forward. And you can feel that in her book. It's so real. It's terrific. I gobbled it down in a day, and I would recommend it to everybody.
Oh, sounds awesome. Thank you so much. Naomi, what book are you recommending?
I'm with Sarah. I cannot find anything in my house right now. So But you could also see it on the graphics. It's Cheryl Head's Times and Doing. And it has my favorite elements. First of all, I'm a former journalist too, Ken. So the journalist is the protagonist. She works for the Detroit Free Press, and there's something that has, her great grandfather had died under mysterious circumstances in Birmingham. And so she goes and investigates. And I love that it has 2 timelines. I have yet to do this. This is aspirational. I would like to do it sometime in the future. But because of my love of history, and part of it set in 1929 Alabama, this is my pick. And I think you all should check it out.
Nice. Thank you so much. And Ken, your recommendation?
My recommendation is The Razor's Edge by Somerset Maugham. I'll show it to you in a second. But when I went looking for it, I found the book that my father said to me, if you're going to be a writer, you have to have this book. And I'll show you what it is. He showed me, he said, you have to have this book. But if you look inside, you will see, can you see the flask? So he said, you have to be a writer. You have to learn to drink a little bit. So I did. And I can't believe I found this. That was great. Somerset Maugham's The Razor's Edge. I hate to start off on a cliche. I really do. But it is the book that changed my life. I was right out of college. I didn't know what I wanted to do. And I'll give you a very quick summary of the story. It's about a soldier who's disillusioned by World War I and comes back and sort of takes another path in life. And I do not read books 2 times or 3 times because there's just so many great books out there. But I've read this 4 times, and every time it changes. I think that says something about the book. Sometimes, first I was interested in the war scenes, and then I was interested in the love story, but then I was interested in there's so many ways to view this book. And I made that real fast. I do love this book, and I'm absolutely not kissing up the teacher. But I also recently read this, and boy, did it blow me away. And I'm not just saying that too, but I did want to say how much this book, I enjoyed it so much. But I highly recommend to everybody The Razor's Edge by Somerset Maugham.
Thanks, Ken. Yeah. I'm speechless. You threw me off. Brian, your recommendation tonight, please.
Yeah, it's The Guardian by Josh Hood. He's a fellow military veteran who served in the Army. This book is phenomenal because it's really about there's always books about spies and Navy SEALs. They get a lot of attention, pilots and the like. But this book is about hostage rescue pararescue from the Air Force, and so it really highlights a sort of a specialty that's not been made a lot of waves in fiction, and truly he brings all his military experience and sort of this great authentic voice that he has to the characters. So highly recommend it.
Wasn't that fun? We hope you enjoyed this taste of what a backroom event is like. The best part comes immediately after, when the audience is divided into 4 breakout rooms and the authors visit each room in turn. We'd love to show you what a breakout session is like, because these relaxed face-to-face conversations between authors and readers are the hallmark of our backroom events. But breakout sessions are never recorded. What's said in the backroom stays in the backroom.